So our objective today is to understand and recognize different angles formed by parallel lines cut by a transversal and find the missing length. Okay? So we have to understand congruency. Congruency means that two angles are the same or they're equal. We have to understand supplementary. Supplementary means that there are two angles that measure 180 degrees. And we have to recognize our angle relationships. Okay? So, applying angle relationships. We can use our knowledge of angles formed by parallel lines and transversals to find missing measurements in the following examples. So basically, we're going to write and solve equations to find and help us find the missing information. Okay? So if we're dealing with equations, this is what you're looking at. You're going to have to determine if they're congruent or supplementary. If they're congruent, what do you think you're going to do with the two equations? You're going to set them equal to each other because they're the same, remember? And then you're going to find what x is, and you're going to plug it back into x to find the measurement. If they are supplementary, you're going to basically combine like terms, and set it equal to 180 degrees. Okay? So let's look at one. It says Elm Street is parallel to Oak Street. Okay? So we have Elm Street and Oak Street. They are parallel lines. And Cedar Drive cuts diagonally across the two streets. Find the measure of each marked angle. So we have this angle here, and it's saying that it's 9x plus 61. And then we have this angle here, and it's saying that it's 3x plus 103. So what do we know about those two angles? What is the relationship of those two angles? Well, those two angles are what you would consider corresponding angles. Okay? So what I know is the angles are corresponding. So if I'm writing this down, you should be writing this down on your paper. The angles are corresponding, therefore the angles are congruent. I need to know what x is, don't I? And then I can find out the measurement. So I need to know what x is. When I find x, I can plug x back into the equation or into each expression and find it out. So what I'm going to do is we know that these two angles are corresponding. We know that they're congruent. So we know that they are equal to each other. So I have 9x plus 61 equals to 3x plus 103. Okay? Does that make sense that I'm setting them equal to each other?
What does that say? 3x plus what?
It's on your paper. 3x plus 103. So I have an equation with variables on both sides, right? So I need to get my variables on one side and my constants on the other side. So the first step is I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. And I have 9 minus 3. And if I subtract 9 from 3, I get what?
6.
I get 6x plus 61 equals 103. Now, I need to get my constant over to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 61 from both sides. That leaves me with 6x equals 103 minus 61, which is what?
42.
42. So my last step is to divide both sides by 6. So that gives me x equals 7. So I know that x equals 7. So now I have to plug 7 into my x. So I'm going to go back up here and say 9x plus 61. Okay, so 9 times x, which is 7, plus 61. Well, 9 times 7 is what?
63.
63. And 63 plus 61 gives me what?
124.
Okay, so should I check the second equation?
No.
Yes, I should. You know why I should? Because I want to make sure that my math is correct, don't I? Even though that they're congruent. So when I plug in the 7 into my second expression, if it also equals 124, I know I did my math right. So I'm going to write down my second equation, 3x plus 103. Well, x is 7. So 3 times 7 gives me 21. Plus 103 gives me 124. So my solution is 124 degrees. Okay, so number 2. It says the side view of a table is shown. And the top of the table is parallel to the floor. So here's the top of the table. And here's the floor. Okay? Find the measure of each marked angle. Okay? Well, this is something that you need to understand. This line right here is called a transversal. So you can extend it out. Okay? And you can extend out this line. Okay? If it helps you to see things a little bit better. So basically it just has 2 transversals. Okay? But it's giving us the measure of this angle and giving us the measure of this angle. So let's just look at this right angle or this angle right here, okay? And not worry about the other one cutting across, okay? So what kind of angles are those? Are they inside the parallel lines?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so it's interior, right?
Yes.
Are they on the same side or opposite sides? Look at it. Are they on the same side as the transversal?
Same, but
Yeah.
opposite places.
They're on the same side of the transversal inside the parallel lines. So that one angle relationship written in blue up there, what's it called? Same side interior. Are same side interiors supplementary or are they congruent? They're supplementary. So what do I know? I know that this is a same side interior angle and they are supplementary. Okay? So I have to combine this 7x minus 9 and this 4x, and I have to set it up equal to 180 degrees. Okay? So somebody want to say, so you could go ahead and combine them, or we can set it, let's set it up this way. Let's say 17x minus 9 plus 4x equals 180. Is everybody following along? Why would I have said 17x minus 9 plus 4x? Because those two, because they add together to equal 180, right? So now I can combine my like terms, which I have 17x and 4x. I don't have to move it over because it's on the same side of the equal sign. I just have to simply add 17x and 4x together, and I get what? 21x. So I get 21x minus 9 equals 180. Okay, so what do I need to do now? I need to add 9 to both sides. makes this one go away, and I'm left with 21x equals 189. If I divide 21 by both sides, x equals 9. So I need to know what x is, right? So I'm going to plug x into the entire equation, right? So I have 21x minus 9 equals 180. Instead of adding it into adding x into 21x minus 9, I'm going to take both expressions, okay? And I'm going to say 17x minus 9. Well, x is 9. So 17 times 9 is what? Is what? 153. And 153 minus 9 should give me 144 degrees. So this angle is 144 degrees. So now I need to find the other angle that says 4x. So I have 4x. So 4 times x is what?
36.
So I have to put 9 into the x. So 4 times 9 is 36. So I have this angle right here is 36 degrees. So I have 144 and 36. Somebody add 144 and 36, so what do you get?
180.
180. Okay? Okay, so set up and solve equations to find the missing angle measurements in each of the following. So let's look at number 1. So we have 3x plus 7, so we have this angle right here, and 10x plus 17. So, what kind of angle relationship is that?
Same side.
They're same side interior. Okay? So I'm going to write up here at the top, same side interior. And same side interior are what? Are they congruent or are they supplementary? So they equal 180. So what I need to do is I need to say 3x plus 7 plus 10x plus 17 equals 180. Do I have any like terms I need to combine? Yeah, I need to combine 3x and 10x, which gives me 13x. Now I need to combine 7 and 17, and that gives me what? Plus 24. That equals 180. So now, what do I need to move?
24.
24, so I need to subtract 24 from both sides. So 13x equals 156. So I'm going to divide 13 into both sides, and I get... So I know that the value of x is 12. Am I done?
No, because you got to find the angle measure.
And how do I find the angle measure?
I do not know.
Well, I know that x is 12, right? So if 3x plus 7, what is holding you up from knowing that measurement?
You got to put the second one and put them in parentheses, like the 12 in parentheses.
Yeah, so I need to plug 12 into the x, right? So we have 3x plus 7. So 3 times x, which is 12, plus 7. 3 times 12 is
36.
36. And 36 plus 7 is?
43.
So we have an angle measure of 43 degrees. Do we need to find a second angle measure?
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, to make sure that they equal 180 degrees, but that is to make sure it's right. So we have 10x plus 17. So 10 times 12. 120 plus 17 is?
137.
So what I would do if I were you is I'd add 137 to 43 and see if I get
180.
180. Did you get 180?
My bad. What'd you say? I'm ready.
So I have 11x minus 9 and 7x minus 9. Okay, so what kind of angles are those?
Same side exterior.
Same side exterior. I love how these notes are not even angles that we really talked about. So same side exterior, which is not really an angle measurement, or an angle pair that we discussed. Is that supplementary or congruent?
Supplementary.
They're supplementary. Do you notice that the angles look different? The 7x minus 9, does that angle look smaller than 11x minus 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can kind of look at the picture and see that one is smaller than the other. So, we're going to say, how are we going to write this out?
11x minus 9 plus 7x minus 9 equals 180.
Carl's on fire.
GGG.
11x minus 9 plus 7x minus 9 equals 180. So, what do I need to add together?
11x plus 7x.
11x plus 7x, which gives me what? 18x. Minus 9 equals 180. Negative 9 minus 9 gives me what?
0.
Negative 18.
Try it in your calculator. Negative 9 minus 9. You have two negatives.
Negative 18.
Yeah. So 18x minus 18 equals 180.
Now you gotta subtract,
you gotta move.
add 18 to both sides.
So now I got to add 18 to both sides. So 18x equals 180 plus 18, which gives me
198.
198.
Now you bring the x and the 18 down.
We're going to divide 18 into 198, or 198 into 18.
11 to the
Did everybody get 11?
Yes.
Okay. Would be great if everybody was using their calculator at the same time so you can see how you're getting these numbers. So how am I going to find my two angles? I have to plug in what?
You're 11.
I have to plug in my 11 to what letter?
2x.
2x. So I'm going to come up here and say 11 times
121.
11 minus 9. So 11 times 11 is what?
121.
And 121 minus 9 gives me?
112.
So one angle measurement is 112 degrees. My second angle measurement, I have 7x minus 9. So 7 times 11 minus 9. 7 times 11 is? 77. 77 minus 9 is?
68.
68. Does 68 degrees plus 112 degrees equal 180 degrees?
Yeah.
Who said no?
Never mind. Don't mess up everything.
So on number 5, the two angles are alternate interior angles. Okay? So if they're alternate interior angles, how do we set them up? Renaja?
Negative 8x plus 8 equals negative 6x plus 20.
Exactly. Okay, so it's your turn to find x. And then when you find x, you need to plug x into both sides to find